So this is William, one of my prime students, one of my best students, who I'm really proud of. He's been with me for a couple of years now, and he's just made huge strides. He's just getting better and better all the time. I tell him all the time he's way beyond where I was at his age. So it's really impressive, and he works real hard. So hey, William, how are you today?
I'm good, and I appreciate those kind words.
Yeah, man, you deserve it. I mean, you work real hard, you know.
I appreciate that.
So I just want to ask you a couple questions. So you've been with me a couple years, and you had some other teachers before.
Yes.
And you were learning how to read music,
Mm-hmm.
and what else? Were they showing you anything else that you felt like applied to what you wanted to know?
Yeah, obviously the piano technique,
Yeah.
scales, exercises, and getting into some classical music as well.
Uh-huh.
And then eventually I kind of found myself drifting more towards jazz.
Right.
I think I bought Night Train, the Oscar
Yeah,
Peterson
yeah.
album. I heard that and I said, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then I got into jazz, and then my teacher, one of my second teacher actually recommended that I go to you since I was
okay.
showing more interest in jazz.
Okay, cool.
And now we're here. So.
Good, yeah, great. So what do you find interesting about jazz? What interests you about it?
There's a certain freedom to playing jazz, and and whether you're playing solo or in a duet or with other people, there's a freedom, and then especially with other people, to be able to interact with people as you're playing, to kind of make the music as you're going along, instead of reading it off of a page, which is fine and which is fun too.
Yeah.
But that interaction element and kind of making this art form as you go is a beautiful thing to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's kind of a unique thing to jazz. I mean, and there's all kind of group music, right? There's rock and roll. There's all kind of groups, right? But jazz has something different, I think.
Yeah, there's something different.
Yeah. So you've made lots of progress. I mean, your technique has just gotten way better, and you've learned a lot of, like, you transcribe stuff, you learn stuff off records, and I mean, you've just made a lot of progress. So how do you feel about your progress?
Well, I'm always never really happy about where I am. I'm always trying to push myself to get better.
Yeah, that's why you're a good student, you know, and that's why you're going to be a great pianist, musician.
And I think part of the reason for that is the people I listen to.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's hard to be accepting of where you are when you listen to the greats like Oscar or Keith Jarrett or Herbie.
Right.
You know, the great thing about that is there's always somebody to look up to.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and you look. I mean, you're never going to be most likely as good or as accomplished as those musicians, but you can always look up to them, and you can always keep pushing yourself.
Right.
Looking at those guys.
Right, and you'll develop your own stuff. You know,
Yeah.
that's what happens. I mean, you develop your own style as you play. You know. And so another thing I've always encouraged you to do is write music, and you've written some great stuff too. How do you think that's helped you develop, and how, if so, how has it helped you develop?
Well, writing music, it's interesting because it's yours. You know, when you take a standard, you can add your arrangements and add your styles on it, but it's always going to sound like the composer. So when you play a Gershwin tune, everybody's going to know it's a Gershwin tune. But when you have your own music, you can take it to places and add your own kind of trademarks on it, and just really kind of explore yourself as a musician.
Cool, great. And you go to the Fine Arts Center here in town too.
Yes.
I talked to Vee the other day. Interviewed Vee, and I'm going to talk to Steve. And so how does studying with me, not just studying with me, but how does your with all this progress that you've made, how does that tie in with what you're doing at the Fine Arts Center?
Well, fine arts is it's less about we talk about stuff, and Steve talks about stuff, and then everybody, they go home, they practice, or they should at least.
Right.
And then we all come back to school the next day, and we all play music together, and just having practiced everything and explore the music, and it's a lot of fun. It's always something to look forward to in my school day.
Yeah. So how do you think? I mean, how important do you think that part of it is? Not opposed to private study, but how important do you feel that playing interaction is?
I think it's super important. It's a huge part of the music.
Good.
Going back to the beginning, and I mean, it's a beautiful art form for part of that reason, is to be able to interact with other people. And I've met so many great friends and great people in the program, and I'm super grateful for it.
Yeah,
So.
great. That's a great answer. That's what I was hoping you'd say. So, all right. Well, thanks for having this talk with me, and let's go have a lesson.
All right, let's do it.